Welcome to the creek in the backyard. I thought we could have a little fireside chat back here. I just wanted to give you an update real quick on the permitting process for SNRF Quest. There has been progress, but I've learned some stuff, so this is fascinating. Okay, here is what happened. Before, I don't even know where to start. When I started taking pictures in Lassen Park, I was operating under what's called a scientific research permit. And I was oblivious to the drama brewing in the background about permits and national parks and content creators, okay? Basically, the National Park Service has a rule, a law, whatever, in place that if you want to do any commercial filming, commercial as in like for profit, if you want to film a a movie or a commercial for a product or anything like that that will generate income, there's a permit you have to get, which makes total sense. What they've done is they've decided that that permit applies to anyone who is monetizing any content anywhere. So if you have a YouTube channel, even if your YouTube channel, I've learned, is not monetized at the moment, it's possible that down the road you could earn income from that. You can get fined by the National Park Service or cited for putting content on YouTube without a permit, which basically means if you have a family vacation and you film it and you put it on a YouTube channel, technically you should have had a permit to shoot that footage. Same rule applies for Facebook, TikTok, any of the social media platforms. So this YouTube channel right now at the moment is not monetized. The loudest frog I've ever heard is back here behind me and it's killing me. Hopefully you're hearing that. You hear that? Now he'll be quiet. So if you have any content and you put it on one of these platforms, technically you're in violation if you did not have a permit in place when you shot it, which brings up all these issues with First Amendment rights and that kind of thing. Somebody sued the National Park Service about it, and if you go on YouTube and search, you'll find all kinds of videos about people that are upset about this because it's hurting their livelihoods. A lot of people that are, bringing an income in off of YouTube and that kind of thing, they now can't go film in national parks. So there's all these like RV channels, travel channels, those kinds of folks who are now stuck because they're supposed to have a permit to shoot these videos. One person with a cell phone in a national park shooting video now has to be permitted or they're going to get fined. It's really crazy. Anyway, you can look up a lot of those videos and learn more about the issue. But someone sued the National Park Service and won, basically saying it was a First Amendment violation. Well, the National Park Service or somebody on the federal level appealed and won the appeal. So at the moment, it's a violation of federal law to shoot a video in a national park and put it on a YouTube channel or a Facebook page or anywhere else that potentially maybe could be monetized at some point. And still photography can be considered commercial photography in my case, because I have a gallery, I'm selling images, and that's a violation as well. I didn't know any of that was happening. That was all happening in the background for the last year while I was happily, out there with my scientific research permit. So I got this notification saying, hey, we revoked that permit. Now you have to get a special use permit, and that's when I found all of this out. I did the application. This is my approved 2023 special use permit. I was approved. I did the whole application, which was ridiculous and is all worded as if you're filming a movie or a Ford commercial or something in the park. They wanted to know all this crazy stuff. I did it to the best of my ability. I wanted to mention also, I got a lot of response from my last video, people saying, here's what you need to do, right? Like you need to do it this way, you need to fill out the form this way, you need to talk to this person. I think a lot of people assumed that my sarcasm when I said like I'm going to put myself down as my stunt coordinator and that kind of thing, they assumed that I was going to do that. I'm not going to be sarcastic on a federal application. I get it. So I filled that out properly. The only thing that really didn't apply, well, a lot didn't apply, but the time frame stuff that they want to know. They want to know when you're in the park, when you're out of the park, exactly what the dates are, which is not applicable to what I'm doing. So I had a hard time with that. I put basically I want to start in September of 2023 and I want to be in there until I'm done, you know, in the end of 24 or 25, just to kind of see where they would go with that. They basically told me after they approved it, there isn't really an expiration date. It's not that kind of a permit. So what they normally are is for the dates you put in, and this is the 2023 permit. So in my case, they've extended this to the end of May 2024, which is awesome, and I'm super thankful that they did that. Now I can get through the winter and get back in there. I'll have to fill out another form and do another application fee and all that for 2024 at the end of May. I also had to prove that I had $1 million in liability insurance, which I have a policy for my gallery and business, but not $1 million. I have a magician for a insurance agent, and she went to work and changed my policy around for the business. Basically, at no cost to me, changed my plan up enough so that I have $1 million in liability coverage just for this application process. So super grateful for that. Anyway, here it is. I just wanted to tell you real quick that I got it, that I'm going to be back in there, and I am now one of the few who's gone through this ridiculous process and gotten the special use permit. Here's some stuff it says. I got to have $1 million in insurance, terms and conditions. The superintendent of the park can revoke anything at any moment. You know, there's a lot of that. Exclusive, you're not exclusively allowed in your permitted area. Public could be around. You have to have authorization to do a whole bunch of different things that I'm not going to do, that don't apply. My phone number's in here. They have a way to contact me. This is all the federal stuff, and I'm trying to get to the local page. Appendix, special park conditions for Lassen Park. This is the stuff that's just theirs. They basically are saying you can't fly a drone, which is already a policy. You can't film National Park Service employees doing things that aren't approved by the National Park Service for your production. You can't touch or mess with any natural, historic, cultural feature. Artifacts must be not, touched. Got to be reported. Anything cool that you find, they want to know about it. Photographing or filming of resident wildlife will be permitted only when such wildlife will not be molested, harmed, or disturbed thereby. This is the one that hurts. Filming, photography, or installations is not allowed within the wilderness portion of Lassen Volcanic National Park. Filming, photography, and installations are only allowed in non-wilderness areas. Refer to the park map to see the wilderness boundary. The vast majority of the national park is wilderness. I'm basically limited to a corridor along the park road on both sides of the road. A few other areas, but that's gonna limit quite a bit where I can set up camera. If a den site is located, I have to stay 200 feet from it, not disturb it. If a den site is located, the National Park Service will be identified. The location identified by GPS coordinates will be shared with the National Park Service. Park wildlife biologist. Photos of wildlife, specifically of Sierra Nevada red fox, but other species may apply, shall be forwarded to the park's wildlife biologist so as to aid in identification and further the park's and the state of California's research activities. Permittee will retain the rights to the photographs or film. I can tell you right now, they're going to be getting a pretty low resolution copy of whatever epic photo I produce. GPS coordinates of filming and photographic equipment will be provided to the National Park Service when installed. I assume that's to keep me out of the wilderness and so they can go check up on me. There are a few other things, but it's crazy compared to what I was doing before. So there are limits, and I'm going to try to stay within them with a smile on my face and still get this photo. But we've shifted gears a little bit in SNRF Quest, and it's going to be harder. But I am going to be able to get up there before the snow really gets deep. I hope. It's already snowed up there at the high elevation. But I'm going to be able to get a couple cameras up there throughout the winter. And I'm going to put a couple at lower elevations also, and hopefully go in and check this winter on snowshoes and try to keep them above snow line and keep up on that a little bit this winter. That's my hope anyway. I'd like to keep a camera trap in there through the winter also. So we're kind of back in business, but a very different business than it was before. And I've kind of learned that this is an issue that I'm upset about. That is, it is a First Amendment right, it feels like. And it's the first time I've been caught up in any kind of political thing other than trying to get a picture of a wolf. But it's kind of silly. And I'm hoping it goes further and the appeal is appealed, and eventually the National Park Service realizes that, you know, somebody filming on a cell phone and putting it on YouTube isn't, you know, doing anything but enjoying their national park. It seems like very limiting. It doesn't affect anybody else's enjoyment of the park for somebody to be talking into a GoPro and putting it on YouTube. I think it will actually encourage other people to visit the park, which is kind of the point of the national park. So if they want to keep people out of them, they're doing a good job. So to Lassen Park's credit, everybody I've talked to there has been super supportive and into what I want to do, but they got to go through this federal process. So it's frustrating. Anyway, there's the update. Probably too long, but now you know. We'll be back in there as soon as I can. I'm out of town for a week, coming back next week, and that's when I hope to get rolling. So hopefully the snow's not too deep by then, and we will keep you posted. All right.